What's up, you guys? Today is Easter Sunday. Ooh wee. All right, so let's think about it. I think my perspective is something that differs from most, but that's because I grew up a little bit different than most. And when people get into like trading or thinking about learning how to trade, they think of it from the level of it's going to get me out of my 9 to 5. But it's like when I think about it, I think over the last, say, 5 to 8 years, people have become more hip to the 9 to 5 concept and, them just using them basically as the new age slaves, right? Because that's how it was. It was like a 9 to 5 concept, but it's just like I wouldn't say a 95% of the world is in a 9 to 5 concept. I would say 95% of the world is in the service-based concept. But if you think about it, it's like the service role and the supporting role, that's the role 95% of the people are in. But people are so used to the way of thinking of the 9 to 5 concept of thinking it's a bad thing. All of, I would say, the way that I would say my structure, it came from a 9 to 5 concept because I think I told you guys before, I didn't even learn how to trade until I was like 21 years old. So I was like, I'm sorry, not learn how to trade. Well, learn how to trade and drive. It was the same fucking thing. I didn't start until I was 21 when I had my daughter. Damn, that's crazy to think about. So I didn't have a car or anything like until like a year before I started trading. So my primary way of getting around was walking. Of course, that was when I was at my thinnest too. I was getting all my steps in, but I don't have no other fucking choice. And it's kind of like that's the way that I view that's when people are going to change. You're only going to change when you don't have a choice. But I'm like that too. I'm only going to change when I don't have a choice. So it's just like, think about this. 95% of traders lose. 95% of the world is in a service concept or a supporting role, as in you're supporting, your employers. We were the pawns, but even as traders, it's not me. I make so much money. I can turn 100 into 100K. I'm still a pawn. I'm still playing a supporting role in this market, but just because I would say it's not my economy, I have my own economy outside of the main world. I might not be nothing but a little person in the main world, but I play a bigger part of the picture because think about this. People, when they get into trading, I think they think as trading as something to do to make more money. And that's how I used to think as well. But you have to evolve from that mindset, and traders have to evolve from the mindset of strictly technical analysis and fundamental analysis because the one concept that everyone else misses and that I understand because I grew up differently. My mom was schizophrenic, if y'all don't know. So I grew up in an undiagnosed schizophrenic household. The first time I ever went to jail is because my mom might have an episode. I don't realize she had an episode back then, but I'm like 15, 16 years old, and we getting into a fist fight over fucking homework, over a homework. But I don't know. She didn't understand back then, and I was a kid. I didn't understand either. But then police get called, domestic violence, da, 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 da. I'm just a kid. But I'm not row with nobody. You know what I'm talking about? Like I might talk a lot of shit, but I'm not row with nobody. So they take me to jail, and then the only time my mama learned that lesson, at least playing with the police, was when I'm a kid. I go to jail. She got to use her money bail me out of jail, even though she lied. I did my fucking homework. But why does homework come to that? You know what I'm talking about? But that's how I feel about the internet. Why does you being a different trader than me come to it? I don't give a fuck who you are and what you do because at the end of the day, the only results that's going to change my life is mine or my students that come to me because then it's just like, oh, boom, look, I can show the world what you did, what I taught you to do, how I changed your life, right? So it's just like people got to understand with trading is more than just technical and fundamental analysis. Trading itself is a way of life, but ministry is a way of life, and trading is a business, and business is ministry. So therefore, trading and ministry and business all tie into ministry, and ministry is 24/7. So why the fuck you just think you gonna hop in this market and look at something for 5 fucking minutes and think you deserve to be profitable? You don't deserve nothing. And that's what you're going to get out of this market because to me, I always tell people I actually enjoy looking at technical analysis. I'm primarily a technical analysis trader, price action trader. because I need to be able to see those entries, if that makes sense. But I also understand fundamentals. I also understand fundamentals. But when you think about how I trade, I'm a trader that's evolved mentally, spiritually, financially, all of the above. Anything that I could get better in, I did get better in because I wanted to do it. Because I understand the way that I grew up. People don't understand that Easter, any holiday, it's a hard time for me. And for the first time in 9, 10 years, I told my in-laws because my mom had an episode, all this shit happened these last few months, this last series of Naomi Martin life, and it just has me thinking in perspective of why do I do the opposite? I've always naturally done the opposite because my life was so fucking bad growing up that I didn't want to do shit like my mom and grandma. Like, like to think about it, I value them and I appreciate them, but they did all they could do and it wasn't good at all. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good at all. It was terrible. And CBS should have took my black ass and they didn't. So then it's like I grow up as a kid that had a rough life and that overcame all these trials and tribulations, then went to work without a car, then had apartments and shit, and then have income and still found a way. But it's because my perspective and mindset is a lot different than others of I've already known if these people are my elders and they not doing right, I don't want to. You can learn from anybody. I don't want to do what you're doing in this concept, but I might like what you're doing in this concept. You know what I'm talking about? So good or bad, right or wrong, I can learn from anybody what to do or what not to do. And then throughout trading, my trading curve was 2 years long because I took the trial and error route because I didn't have a way to. I didn't have no money to fucking learn from nobody, right? And that's a majority. I would say a lot of the world. I'm not saying everybody broke, but a lot of the world are starting from where they are, whether where you are is a family with money or where you are is a family without money. But even if your family got money and you grew up well, you grew up differently than me, you still have to start with a small account because that's where all the skills are built. So it's like everybody watched me be the trader I am now. Yeah, I've been taking losses lately in like the signals group, but it's like you could really, it's not a loss because you could absolutely take the profit whenever you want. The profit that I used to take back then when I needed the money was is a lot different than the profit that I might do now and not take and decide not to take and let the big profit turn into little profit or a blown account because that's the only way you're going to get to the big profit. Before I got to the 65K in 3 days, I had to pass up 2,000, 5,000, 1,000, 500, 10,000, 15,000, 25,000. Bitch, you don't just go from 0 to 65. I watch all these numbers come in, and every single time I'm making a conscious decision for 3 full days of I'm not taking that one, I'm not taking that one, I'm not taking that one, I'm not taking that one. So my approach, my habits that you guys see me executing now is what is already me. I'm 24/7 trader. I'm not 24/7 profitable. I'm 24/7. I'm executing the rules because this is the rules and this is how I get the best results. And as of right now, ain't nobody showing me shit better. So I'm right. I'm right. So at the end of the day, it's like I think it's just people are so used to putting themselves in a box, and you need to stop doing that because people will put me in a box. And keep in mind, it's 2026. I'm just not telling you guys the story of how I grew up and why I am the way that I am. I'm just now giving a fuck to explain to you who the fuck I am. But that's because God wants me to tell you. If God didn't want me to tell you, I still would be sitting right here not saying shit to nobody because it's not something that I'm comfortable doing. It's not something that I enjoy talking about. And then when people are being humans and then get mad and say some slick shit, bitch, that's some slick shit, but that's something the conversation is sentimental to me. The bitch, you ain't gonna be able to contact me, no, bitch, because now access denied, bitch, access denied, bitch, access denied, bitch. It's only so much. I've learned early to guard my attention. I learned early to only take what people say as a grain of salt because people don't fucking know you for real. They only know what I tell you or what you tell me. But then it's like you gotta understand you're not with me full time every single day all my life. So it's easy for me to get up here and speak to everybody to tell you trading is about more psychology and understanding that you got to be different and you got to think a different way. All it is thinking a different way. In addition to understanding that fundamentals is going to push this market, the fundamentals is nothing more than the gas. Yeah, there's strictly fundamental traders, blah 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 blah. They make money, blah 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 blah. But it's just the gas, right? Technicals is nothing more than the car. If you ain't got no gas in your car, your technicals ain't fucking going nowhere. Technicals without fundamentals is nothing, and fundamentals without a setup is fucking nothing. And you know what both of these do? These gonna get you some profits, but they not gonna get you my profits because I'm the psychologist, motherfuckers. I'm the psychologist. Think about it. Think about it. For 30 years, I never told you the loony bin that I grew up in. And the only thing, the only mindset that keeps me thinking, because y'all gotta understand, there's always this back thought in my head, and even the beginning of trading, of learning how to trade, of I have a daughter, and I understand all the fucked up shit I went through, and kind of how I am now. So you can say that I'm kind of a messed up individual, but then it's like, what's real? What's real? What's real? You know, the only thing that keeps me sane is these results. Results are the only thing that keep me sane because it's just like, okay, I'm not crazy if this is the result. And this is the result, and this is the result, and then these are my results. But then this person's in this country, and this person's in this city, and this person's in this state, and this one on this fucking continent, and this is their results from learning from me. Do you know what it's like to always question yourself to make sure that you're not turning out like that? Because it's like, I would say I would say it's kind of like the Hitler concept of life was so bad, I wasn't supposed to have kids, but God had gave me a kid at a young age. My dumb ass thinking I couldn't get pregnant. I don't know why the fuck I would think that, because I know what the hell I was doing. I'm thinking I can't get pregnant. I get pregnant, but then he blessed me with a pregnancy with a crackhead ass nigga. We'll talk about him in a different in a different series, but he won shit, but he got great parents. So that's a blessing from God. Next dude I'm with, whole opposite of this dude, but parents still just as strong as those parents. That's the favor on my life. I could talk about favor all day and night because even when my mom wasn't mentally well, she was still doing dumb ass, crazy ass, jealous ass shit. Right? There was I think I talked in the last video about going back around COVID to help, just to kind of help everything and to see what it was gonna be, because I mean y'all know what it was. It was big. It was something new. But now it's just like I don't get scared about shit like that because COVID to me is nothing more than swine flu. That is nothing more than motherfucking chicken pox and polio and all that shit. It's just a reason. It's the fundamentals of the world at work. And then 9 times out of 10, the fundamentals come out from a level of supply and demand. So even when she wasn't well, I'm just so hip to being, I don't know, I guess just using, I don't know, I wouldn't say conscious, but just using my context clues of my life of I've been right this much, da 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 on this don't feel right. Let me take a moment back and study it from there, right? So going back around COVID, because we, it's a pandemic. We don't understand what's going to happen in the world. Da da da. Everybody's scared. I ain't scared of that shit no more. Let me just say. But then it's like towards the middle of it, she tried to do some shady ass shit. She like texted my sister basically. God intercepted that fucking message. That's what the point of the story is. She mad at me for something, my mama. I come back to live with them. I already had my own place, but I come back because it's COVID. My sister already lived there, but my sister, she not like that. She just trying to keep the peace. She don't want to fight with nobody. My mama go toe to toe. I'ma go toe to toe. Look at me. I look just fucking like her. That's why when she was losing her mind and I was the last to see her, shit fucked me up a little bit. But she doing some petty ass shit. And keep in mind, I got my daughter too around COVID and stuff like that. She tried to do some petty ass shit and text my sister, "Hey, we gonna move. Hey, we gonna move. We not gonna tell Naomi. We want her to pay the last of this rent, da 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 da. And then we just not gonna say nothing. We just gonna move." Basically, is what the message fucking said. That's what the message fucking said. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. As much as I loved her and wanted to love her more, I never felt like I just owe my family some shit because the fucked up people in this world grow up too and have kids too, and I'm the result of that fucked up individual having a child and a child being resilient enough to overcome this shit. So To me, it's a way of life. When people tell me, hey, I went through this, I went through that, I went through that, 95% of what you went through, I went through as well. I just didn't make it a thing. It's a thing, and I can testify. I can testify from that being a thing, but I can also testify in getting into real estate, and I can testify in being you go putting $40,000, $50,000 into e-commerce and making millions from fucking day trading and helping this person become a millionaire and helping this person make a few thousand and this person is making six figures and this person just made maybe $500 and this person made 50. It's the same shit because it's all coming from me. But I imagine if I didn't grow up, imagine how many lives wouldn't have been changed because my perspective of this world would have never come out to talk about it with y'all so that you can understand that it's a way of life. Who I am in the market and why I'm in the market full time is because that's me full time. And you got to understand to where I'm great at time in the market, but there was a moment in my life where it was good at time in the market. And there was a moment in my life to where it was good to just swing. But at all moments, I don't have a label because I can swing, intraday, position, and scalp. But they're all called at different moments. If I have a $25,000 profit, a $15,000 profit, whatever profit, and it given in 15 minutes, I'm gonna take it. But if it don't give it in 15 minutes and I gotta wait 3 weeks, I'm gonna do that too. But then if you gotta think about my psychology strong as shit. I just told you how I grew up. Losses in the market ain't shit like losses in life. Oh my God. So I didn't even finish that story. So yes, bro, she meant to send that message that she was just gonna take the rest of the money and move. She meant to send that message to my sister. My sister, she was never in on that shit. Da, da, da. She don't want to fight, you know? And she was probably always gonna tell me, but she ain't had to tell me because God had my mama send that shit to me. I read that shit. Not only she ain't getting rent that month, I move out the very next week. I don't say shit this time. And when she over here the next week talking about, oh, you screwed me over, what we supposed to do? Da, 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 da. I sent her the motherfucking message God sent me that was for my sister, and she wondering why she never got a response back from my sister because my sister never got it. She sent, bro, out of all these years, she ain't ever accidentally, like, growing up, we all used to accidentally sex our, well, maybe it's just me, accidentally sent some sex messages that was for a boyfriend to our parents and got our phone taken away. I did that shit. My mama ain't never accidentally sent me no message. The one message she fuck up and accidentally send me, that's the one that's gonna affect my life the most. I ain't never look at her the same. And that's how I understood. This is just who she is. That's just who she is. Love her to death, but she did all she could. And to love my grandma to death, she did all she could. But I love my daughter to death to not do what the fuck they did, and therefore I have to do the opposite, just like y'all got to do in the market. People think of it as a point of buying and selling when it's really fear and greed. People are fearful when I'm blowing accounts. But blowing accounts is a part of leveling up in this market because I know I ain't blown no $5,000, $3,000 yet worth of fucking $100 accounts. No $2,000 worth of $100 accounts before we got flipped. None of that shit. Because every time we get a flip, it's a matter of are you gonna take the money or not? Where are you in this world? Because I know exactly where the fuck I am in this world, and you have to come to the conclusion, understanding where the fuck you're at in this market, or it's not going to work. But it's not going to work because you don't understand where you are in this world. You just try to sit here and tell me where I am, and I'm just not telling you who the fuck I am. That's the craziest part. So I might take losses sometime, but I don't get stage fright no more because it's the process. It has to go that way. My mindset is well, one, my learning curve was 2 years because I had to take the trial and error route of the market, right? But then, what is it? Oh, I mean, just $100 accounts, just $100 accounts. Think about it. I used to serve tables. My check would be like $500 to $600 a week serving tables, but I'm there a lot. So if that check is $500 to $600 a week, I can afford $100 account 5 to 6 times. One of these hoes is finna flip. And for as long as it takes me to go from 100 to 10,000 or 100 to 20,000. And back then, I used to more intraday trade because I needed the money right then. Let me just tell you this. The issue and the Achilles heel of intraday and scalping is you gonna get a little bit of profit, 500 to 1,000. You gonna take it, you gonna spend it, and you gonna be right back to motherfucking where you left off. But keep in mind, me, I am intraday. I can scalp, and I have the habits of a swing trader because I'm going to hold as long as it take. If this bitch take 3 weeks to get to 25K, my emotions can handle that. Your emotions cannot. Your emotions can't handle it, and then your psychology can't handle it because look, I'm not even going to talk about y'all. Let's talk about me. Back then, my psychology could not handle swing trading, and my ass, I could barely fucking understand intraday and scalping because I blow my account on my own before the market ever had a chance. So I go from buy to sell to buy to sell to buy to sell in positions. By the time the market finally take the fuck off, my account is blown because every time I enter the trade, it's going to cost me money, right? Every time you enter a trade on intraday scalp, it's going to cost you money. Every time I enter on swing trading, it's going to also cost me money. But eventually, I don't have to enter no more. It's just gonna go. And then it's compound, 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 compound. And then from there, I can decide on if I want to take it. A 65K take, a 100K take, a 25K take. If I pass up all these numbers 40, 45K, 30, 30K to get to 65K, 100K, 200K, 300K, 750K plus, all those numbers come before that fucking number. So no, you don't get to sit here and tell me, oh, well, we just not taking it. Da, 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 da. If you would take it at 100 and this is the setup, and you would take it at 200 and this is the setup, and then you say you could just enter again, my black ass gonna say, yeah, you can just enter again. Go ahead. And then you gonna get L, L. You gonna hit a series of L, 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 and your account not gonna be there no more because you was like, I can just enter again. Meanwhile, the setup never changed. So why are you buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling when all you got to understand is where are you in this market? What is the main trend of this market? It's only buys and sells. Everybody on YouTube can teach you the same shit. You know why they can teach you the same shit? Because they surface level. They can teach you technical analysis and they can teach you fundamental analysis. They can't teach you to think differently because they don't fucking know how. They don't know how. Their experiences of life have told me, for somebody that's gone through some shit, that they're not gonna ever understand fully the psychology of everything because the only way it works is if you at a point of rock bottom that we have no choice but to change. And every single low in a uptrend or downtrend is going to give you a buy setup. Can you wait for that setup to go? No, your psychology is not strong enough. Every single high in an uptrend or a downtrend or in consolidation is going to give you a selling opportunity. Can you wait for that selling opportunity or are you going to be scared because something consolidated for 72 hours? You going to be scared. You ain't got the habit to hold. You know what? I'm so tired of being in consolidation. As soon as I get a dollar into profit, I'm just gonna take it. Yes, get your fucking dollar, scary ass bitch. Yes, take that motherfucking dollar and make some room for some real motherfuckers that want some real shit. Outside of that, outside of results, it don't matter. It don't matter outside of results because the results gonna talk. And the results is the only thing that keep me from going fucking insane sometime of, is this shit real? I gotta watch my thoughts. My mom, I know my family history. I know what my auntie got. I know what my grandma got. I know what my mama got. I lived through all that shit. So let me watch my thoughts. I'm extremely controlled in this market. And even if I go through certain shit, I trade almost, I want to say every day. I look at the market every day though. I do trade every week. I might not say nothing to the public every single week, but I do trade every single week because every single week it still come back to is the market buying or selling. So let's check this out. Let's check this out really quick. Let's see. All right, so let's look at this. So I've traded options successfully. I've traded futures successfully. I teach Forex. I teach crypto futures. I teach Forex and crypto futures because options, they got time decay and these two don't. These two are the most volatile, and I like that I could trade 24/7 with Forex and crypto futures. I can't trade 24/7 with options. I can't even take profit 24/7 because if somebody don't take that shit from me, it's not gonna let me sell it. You can make a lot of money on options. I'm not gonna bash it because people make money different ways, but the way that I trade, you can trade all these markets, binaries, pocket options, uh, all of it. I've traded all markets. I've never had a problem making profit, if that makes sense. So if I, well, I'll just explain the watch list first, and then we'll go into what my thoughts are for the week. Let's do that. That sounds good. All right, so check this out. So for Forex and crypto futures, especially for this challenge, I trade all these pairs. Oil, yeah, oil, the dollar. The dollar for me is more the indicator. I don't trade it. So look at the dollar's indicator. I trade silver, gold, USD CAD, USD MXN, USD ZAR, Euro CAD, Euro NZD, Euro AUD, I'm sorry, GBP NZD, GBP AUD, CAD JPY, GBP JPY, USD JPY, NZD JPY, AUD JPY, GBP USD, Euro USD, NZD USD, AUD USD, NAS 100, SPX 500, and US 30. You probably don't see me trade the indices as often because I believe on a small account, you kind of need to be able to manipulate the smaller currencies, but that's just me. So I trade all of these because guess what? It still comes down to buy or sell. On crypto futures, I trade less. I use XAUBTC as an indicator. I use the dollar as an indicator, right? I don't trade indicators like on the screen, but these are what I look at in order to decide what the market is doing and how I want to approach it. I trade Dash USDT, BTC USDT, ETH USDT, XRP USDT, Pepe, Jasmine, BNB, and BCH. The difference between crypto futures and regular crypto is it's basically like crypto on steroids because you got the futures aspect of paying you more. I've done caught 300,000 pips in one move on crypto futures. I could add up all of my Forex trades by itself and never catch 300,000 pips for a matter of a couple years all together. If I add all of the trades together all day, every day, it's not going to be the same. If that makes sense. When I look at the market, it comes back to being in a state of mind, like asset state of mind. Because me as a business owner, if I need something, if I need cash, typically I'm either going to sell an asset for cash or use it as a bargaining tool for the bank so that they give me their cash, right? So that they give me their cash or a friend gives me their cash and then I still have the asset. But if I fail on giving the cash back, then the asset is their new cash, right? When you think of assets, assets come down because assets, the news has manipulated assets that come down, but assets overall, over a long period of time, over a swing thought, swing trade is a buy. But not every season in the market is a buy, right? That's for you to decide where you are in the market. If that makes sense? That makes sense, guys? All right, cool. So then if I'm looking at where I am in the market and we're looking at tops and bottoms, right? This is a bottom. Let me grab this. And this is Trading View. If you've never seen Trading View before, then, it's just tradingview.com. Here it is right here. I'll make a video for you guys to learn how to maneuver on Trading View, but we'll do that in a different day. Okay. If this is a bottom and this is a top and this is a top and this I foresee as a possible top, right? Then this is what I'm looking at. We sell tops because every high is going to give you a reason to sell. And we buy bottoms because every low is going to give you a reason to buy. If this top sold and 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 this top sold is looking like it's finna sell, then I'm going to drag it across like this. And my anticipation would look like this. So all I'm doing is figuring out in the market, am I a buyer or am I a seller? Where are you in this market? That's what you have to decide in order to be kind of mentally sane. Like I said, the results keep me mentally sane. You're gonna have to understand that every single top is gonna give you an opportunity for a bottom, and every single bottom is gonna give you an opportunity for a top. Now, the reason we're looking at the dollar and the dollar is so important to me because it comes back to the asset state of mind, right? The asset state of mind is going to be everything against the dollar is typically a buy if the dollar is typically in a sale. And if the dollar is in a sale, I'm sorry, if the dollar is in a sale, everything else is going to buy. So your anticipation. And if the dollar is in a buy, typically everything sells off, the anticipation. But they still tops and bottoms, if that makes sense. So decide where you are in the market, where you want to be, and go from there. As far as the watch list and the account challenge for the 100 to 150,000, I'm gonna do it. I mean, as regular, we trade the same crypto pairs that we have been trading for the crypto list, and I'm just going to be adding Forex to it. So if you want to copy my watch list, you can just go through this video and copy my watch list. But whatever it's time for is what it's time for. And everything else, you either in the mentorship or you not, or you gonna wait for until I'm done with the challenge. To be honest, but there's my watch list. Is what I wanted to show you guys. In the challenge, I could pull any one of these. I'm gonna pull any one of them. Whatever looked the best is what I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna pull any one of them. So you gotta be ready. And some of y'all gonna be like, "Oh, that's so many pairs." I don't give a fuck because you ain't gotta do it. It's not for you. It's for me. It's for me so I could talk some more shit. It's for me so I could prove proof of concept. It's for me on if I look if I can't prove it, I'm just gonna pay somebody $1,000. So I'm doing God's work anyway. You feel me? That's what it come down to. I can only tell you who I am and how I got here. I cannot, I can't teach you faith. I can only show you faith. That's where I'm at. I could teach you technical analysis and I could tell you fundamentals is your gas, but I can't, I can't teach faith. You either got it or you don't because faith is bigger than trading. Business is ministry and ministry is 24/7. Faith is 24/7. So you tell me you don't have faith in setups and faith in of concept and faith in the laws of the market, then that's bigger than me. I can't help you with none of that shit. I'm not gonna hold you. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. I'm excited for this challenge though. I know that I could be a little hard on y'all, but I have to challenge y'all to think a different fucking way, or it's just not going to work. It's not going to work in trading. It's not going to work out for you in life because it's like you got to be willing to do hard shit. You got to be willing to. It's like grandparents when they don't want to, discipline grandkids, and then grandkids eventually grow up and start doing stupid shit. Then it's like, where do you go from there? You should have started with disciplining them before they got too big to try to actually do some shit. Cause then you actually gotta fucking fight them, and you didn't have to do that. They wouldn't have even thought to I gotta fight or no shit like that if you handled them when they was a little tiny guppy. Now you over here fighting a big ass shark, trying to figure out why you fighting the shark. You fighting the shark because you didn't do the hard shit, and the hard shit would have been disciplining them while they little enough to be fucking scared. The world should have disciplined me while I was little enough to be fucking scared. Because I still was scared. I still grew up. Time still passed, right? It came down to what I did in that time that made all the difference on why I'm where I am, why I used to not have a car, why I used to walk to the goddamn bus stop, take the train into Dallas, walk to this other bus stop just to get to work a few hours early because I knew if I wasn't 3 hours early, I was gonna be 45 minutes late because I didn't have a car, didn't have no other choice. But even that, even God's grace came down to that, to where they had this girl who used to work with me at Papado's Seafood Kitchen. Her name was Krista, and she lived in the same city as me, and she was woman of God too. She used to pick me up. This is before I was even as like practicing the way that I do now. This was before I was even like understanding how much authority that all came with. And I've always had that protection. I just told y'all the story of the favor. She tried to fuck me and my daughter over so hard, and she wasn't even like having no episode. She taking medicine. She well back then. That's a decision that she fucking chose. And that's why I couldn't understand how people think in this market because I spent all my life trying to figure out why my life started this way. But it doesn't matter where you start. It's a matter about what you look like at the end of the day and where you came from. and God's grace and the luck of it all is my birthright, and then the people that along the journey I end up meeting in my life, and they're able to help me through the journey. But not saying that they might like be there full time, but Krista was there all while I needed help doing that, and she was kind of like the good angel, and then my other self, me, I was the bad angel. Like, nah, it's okay. Da 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 da. You know, this is my first time getting some freedom. I'm like the little devil on the shoulder, and she's like, no, you need to do it this way. She's taking me to church. She get me to kind of understand the deeper meaning, and then from there, it's still fellowship. I'm still following the path, following the path. Because I got fired from that job, me and her path ended. She can't take me to work because she got to go to work. But I was grateful during that time that we had together along the journey that she was there for me and when I needed something. So one day I want to be able to repay her as well, you know? But I could tell you 1,000 stories like that, bro. Like, I have life experience. I just trade. The trading is money, but it still come back to the asset state of mind. You can make money fast, you can make money slow, but if you fuck up the money, you don't invest it long term, you don't do what you need to do with the money not gonna be there. So that's all I got for y'all. I hope this helps y'all understand everything. And at the end of the day, just understand, stop letting people put you in boxes and and then once they put you in a box, what your ass doing staying in it? People tell me all the time what they think I'm fucking am, and they don't even fucking understand the beginning of it. I'm just now opening up to it. That's all I got. Bye, y'all.